047. That's our SMS line. And across any other social media platforms. And also, you can call us in live to give us an answer. We are asking you, what are the chances of Arsenal Football Club winning the UEFA Champions League? What are the chances of Arsenal Football Club winning the UEFA Champions League trophy? WhatsApp number is 07932672279. And of course, our SMS line, you can see it on screen, 22047. You can also call us in live. You'll see the numbers scrolling below your screen, Apple. So, ongea na sisi. But first of all, talking about football, talking about Arsenal, definitely Arsenal usually is a team that is well known for scouting and nurturing football talent. From the likes and the days of Arsene Wenger, who is currently now in FIFA, Arsenal has been known for nurturing talent. Now, in Kenya, there is of course, SKEIYA. There is a new, hata najaribu kutafuta hii SKEIYA walitoa wapi. There is a new organization that, of course, is taking Nairobi by storm and also the country by storm in terms of sports talent development. And they are partnering with some of the biggest, both regionally and international across the borders, in terms of nurturing sporting talent in Kenya. They're giving you an opportunity, your son, your daughter, your girls, your boys, an opportunity, of course, to progress in terms of their talent in the modern way. Yani wanatumia mpaka artificial intelligence kudetermine kama una talent ama uko nje. So today, this particular afternoon, I have a team from SKEIYA. SKEIYA, hata mimi mwenyewe nilikuwa nafanya research ya SKEIYA, nikasema tu wacha wakuje waseme wenyewe juu sasa hata mimi sielewi SKEIYA ni nini. But of course, I understand the kind of work they do. So I have the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer of SKEIYA, that is Siombua Kibue. It's good to see you. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much for having me.
Asante, thank you for making time. We also have the brand ambassador of SKEIYA. That's my very good friend, who is not new to you. That is James Situma. We know him in the football circles. One, of course, of our greatest football stars, legends. So you can imit a legend. But Barabara anacheza ball by the way. Hiyo ni nyuma tent. Simbele tent. James Situma, is good to see you. Karibu sana.
Nashukuru.
He holds many titles by the way, but for this particular occasion, he is, of course, the brand ambassador of SKEIYA. And also we have the Nairobi International Cup Chief Executive Officer, our good friend Kelvin Akumu. Karibu sana.
Yes,
Ladies first, Siombua, SKEIYA ni nini? Najua juzi, of course, with your colleague Teresia, Wairimu was mentioning to me, of course, you are hosting some top scouts from European countries, in Netherlands, and I don't know which other, and from the UK, who are coming in Kenya to do scouting. Hii ilikuwa ni nini? And of course, as you tell us, SKEIYA ni nini?
All right. SKEIYA is a commercial sports company,
yes,
but we do have an agency.
Yes.
In the part of the agency, we do recruitment of players across Africa, yes, and take them to our partner teams in various parts of Europe. But while we were doing that, we realized that a lot of the African players had an issue with customization when we move. It takes a little bit of time for them to adjust. Okay. And so for that reason, we regrouped, rebranded, redid the whole entire homework, yes, and decided that we can actually start the process of selection and customization here, so that when we move them, it becomes a continuous process and not a start. And so that was what that was our first camp that we just held, which just ended on Thursday, with about 35 players who came on board from different clubs for assessments, recruitments, so that we are able to see the talent, what do we need to work on, yes, what can be improved, and what more we can bring to the table. Yes.
So, of course, we have some images we shall be sharing, which Teresa graciously shared with us about that particular camp. Concerning, just before I move on to Situma, what is the age bracket of these players, or is this cutting across from all to?
No, as you know, like Situma cannot be the age bracket we are looking for, as much as he plays football. We love you very much.
I'm sure poor, by the way. You're not going to rejoin. I'm going to rejoin.
Team ya wazee tunai-appreciate, lakini
waliovuma.
You know, yeah, we appreciate our veterans. Yes. However, when it comes to talent recruitment, yes, our initial assessment is going to be starting at 13 to 16. And then for sending abroad is 17 to 23. So this time round we were looking at 16 to 23. as our initial start bracket, but after we got feedback from the coaches who are on the ground, utterly professional coaches, they were like, we need to start an assessment process, and then from the assessment, the ones we select move into the trial camps, and then we're able to move.
Well done,
Yeah.
well done. That, of course, let me bring in Situma. I'm seeing some images, of course, on our screens. I can see, 16 to 23-year-olds enjoying football. Situma, you're the brand ambassador. Definitely, I mean, you fit that particular assignment totally. Looking, of course, what you've achieved in the country, at club, at international level, at national level. What is your job description? Let me just get into it. Of course, I know I've read about your job description, but exactly this particular this past week when you're doing that particular talent, what was your work? Of course, you're motivating these young ones. They have seen you, they have heard about you, and of course, seeing you here, they are motivated.
Yeah, of course. First of all, I want to thank SKEIYA for that opportunity. Being an ambassador, you know, I can say for the first time, when I'm retired, I'm given that role. But again, you know, unfortunately, the Gen Zs, most of the guys, by the way, ni wachache sana waliona nikicheza ball. Because ni wajuzi, unaona. But again, first of all, you know, I go there as a role model first.
Yes, for sure.
And again, you know, I'm a coach. I'm a certified coach. I've played this game. Yes. And, you know, seeing is believing, you know, and beside just training and make sure that these kids get a chance to play abroad, you know, they need to have the values of life, you know. So we have, like, I really thank the SKEIYA team when they came up also with the issue of or the programs of capacity building, you know. Apart from playing football, you know, they give you knowledge how you can deal with the issues of the contract. Because remember, these are the kids, you know. They are so green about the contracts, signing the contracts. Sure. And when you get a chance to go and play foreign football, you know, it comes with good money. And how can you manage that good money? So we have the program of financial literacy, you know. So it's something that it needs an expertise to make sure that these kids or players have gone through all the package of the program to make sure that they're full packaged to be a complete player in the pitch and outside the pitch. So my role also is, of course, general visibility, you know. When you're there, the image is there. Something is legit, you know. So we make SKEIYA, be legit agency to run a football camp around the country. And also the other side, I represent players as the president of Kenya Footballers Welfare Association. So na make sure vitu zao ziko chonjo na ziko straight.
Very true. Of course, your connections, your experience in our local football, that's very invaluable experience, of course, you bring to SKEIYA. Let me bring in, of course, Nairobi International Cup CEO. Tell us, what is Nairobi International Cup, first of all? Unajua umeivaa strategically. I will not miss it. It is speaking so loud. Yeah. So I want you now to actually explain what exactly is it, and how is it related to SKEIYA?
So Nairobi International Cup is a tournament that takes place in Kenya every August. And last year we did our first edition. On the first edition, we became the best ever attended tournament in Kenya with the hosting of 295 teams, over 8,000 participants. Wow. From under 7 all the way to under 20, both boys and girls teams. Wow. So right now, what you're looking at is the official logo for 2025. We developed a way that every year will have its own theme, just like World Cup. Ikienda Qatar, there's the official Qatar logo. So this one is for 2025. We've already rolled out our registration for this year. We already have 464 teams approved. Wow. And we are looking to hosting over 15,000 participants from all over. Kenya, we have like 22 counties that have been approved. Countries are Uganda, Tanzania, South Africa, Malawi, and Zambia so far. So how we relate with SKEIYA? SKEIYA looks for talent and we are the platform. Yes.
And how many of you, how many of the talent have you scooped from Nairobi?
all those talents that were in the camp were gotten through NICAP.
Yes, actually that's very true.
Yes.
Yes, all 35 players were gotten through NICAP, the ones who came to the camp.
Yes.
Different clubs, different teams, but all under the platform of Nairobi International Cup.
Kevin, is it about Nairobi alone? Am I just Nairobi is the name?
Nairobi is the name.
On behalf of my people from Kakamega, are you denying?
We have a team from Kakamega. No, we never denied anyone. We have a team from Kakamega that already sent in approvals. So we are waiting to see if they will be approved.
So that's it.
So it's international. That's why it has the international part. So don't focus on the Nairobi. Look at the international one. So yes.
But also at the camp, we actually had a Congolese player. We had players coming in from Kisumu, from Mombasa, from Nairobi. So we are not only locked to Nairobi, but it is open to the country, actually the East African market. Right now, we are standing in as a representatives for the entire East African community.
And how old is SKEIYA?
SKEIYA, we just hit 3 years. We just hit 3 years, yes.
And that's a huge milestone. So your successes are actually that you've actually traversed Kenya, and of course you're in the East African.
Yes.
What is the end goal? What is the end goal? Are you focused on only Kenya, ama sasa wewe ni jumuiya ya Afrika?
Actually, sisi ni jumuiya ya Afrika.
Very well.
But when we started, when we wanted to start this particular program, we are like, we have to start from somewhere. It's very difficult to be in every single country in Africa. But if we start Kenya and then grow to East Africa and then now move to the rest of Africa, it becomes an easier way to roll out the program on how we have developed and designed it. And so you see, even for us, we had to come back, regroup, sit down now with the coaches again, come up with a proper program because they had a lot of reviews.
Yes.
And you see, for us, we're not just doing, you're not playing a game, it's not just playing the game. We have to equip you to be an all-round player. So that's why James is saying, like, we had talking about communications. We are teaching you how to handle yourself when you leave the country, because all of us will not be there. Yeah. The parents will not be there. Yeah. But we hope that we've equipped you enough to be either self-sufficient, but if you need help, you're easily able to call back in.
And I'll put Stuma on the spot here. I know he didn't expect this. However, I'm sure, Stuma, you've seen what happened to Benson Omala. You don't need to comment on that. I can't comment on it. Of course, his contract, whereby there was a lot of issues about contract. You've mentioned about the work that SKEIYA does is actually to now, these young ones who are still teenagers can understand it early enough. So by the time they are mature, 20, 22, 23, they already understand the ingoings and outgoings of this particular issue. Hao watoto kama wewe kama player, unawaambia mambo ya Omala na venye wataipuka hizo challenges?
Yeah, of course, that's...
you have an experience. You've done all these contracts in and out of the country.
And that's where capacity building comes in, you know. Of course, I can talk about the issue of Omala because I was with him personally in Oyugis when I was asking him about of course, how the transfer was, you know, and it's all about the fake agency, you know. And here I say that I want to deal with someone who is legit, and SKEIYA is very, very legit. And what we are trying to tell the kid is that someone can approach you, you know, but it's always good, just give that information to the second person that you trust. Anaweza kuwa mama, anaweza kuwa your rafiki, anaweza kuwa team manager, anaweza kuwa coach. So we just want to bring the honest, because when you have fake agency, you know, they always promise these players vitu hawezi pata, unaona. And again, you know, the talks in between the agency and the club, mchezaji unapata, most of the time he doesn't have any information, the true information. So maybe you're told, okay, when you move, you're getting maybe a certain amount of signing on fee. But when you move, you're told, okay, you have to wait, blah, blah, you know, the documents. And remember, you have already signed the contract, you're playing the games. So inakuwa ni problem, you know. And it's not only maybe with these upcoming young players, but we can, together with other organizations like maybe the federation, because I'm very sure SKEIYA will also work under the federation. They need the federation because when these players are moving outside the country, they need to have the ITC, you know, the international transfer. So I believe it's a collective responsibility whereby we need to make sure that these players are well informed when they're making the decision, you know, and that's where the agency comes in, and we want to emphasize or encourage them most to do the research, whoever they are dealing with, to make sure that they have a legit agency. And if they don't have, they come forward. We there, like senior players, we are there to help them. So so it's not it's not something that maybe we can scrap off tomorrow. It's a process, but again, we have to take these steps one by one to make sure that we manage the young upcoming players. And I believe if we have the successful story from the SKEIYA camp, where the programs have been well organized, the trainings, professional coaches, you know, and the values of lives. Because ukiangalia kama vitu zimefanyika hapo, most of us, when the players were told that we'll having your phones by 10 p.m., you know, and we give you the following day at 6 p.m., wengine walikuwa na shangaa zile za kutakuwa aje, unaona. But again, in between you have a lot of programs, because after training you have to rest and then you have to go through other programs. So we want to bring out a proper player, because they also need to brand themselves while they are young. When we have a training whereby we have the cameras taking the sessions, the clips, you know, those are the things that we really want to encourage even the teams that are playing at the top flight, to make sure that they have those records, the clips, so that when a player is moving to other team, wanakuuliza video lakini unasema sijui iko
tafuta kwa YouTube kwa nani?
YouTube yenyewe hata hujui iko wapi, unaona. So I think we have a lot to learn, and one step at a time, and we will be there.
All right, indeed. Yes. Kevin, the use of technology. Kawaida, of course, in the past, it's just been unaenda unatuma scouts wanakaa na record pengine na simu. But now there is, I understand SKEIYA uses technology. How beneficial is this technology, of course, to you as the CEO of Nairobi International Cup?
Technology is very important, and I believe the world right now is moving towards all scopes of technology. Hata ikweni mtoto wa nursery, there's technology involved. And all these European clubs, the best example would be Manchester City, because I don't support them. I really hate them. But I like what they do. You find Manchester City signing a player who is like 14 years old or 15 years old, and you're wondering where did they see the player or whatever. It's all through this technology. The club maybe recorded the game, beamed it live on the platforms that the engines that SKEIYA has, and they'll see that player from there. And that's so easy for them now. They don't need to send scouts to Africa. They don't need to send scouts to South America for them to get players. It's all about the technology. And us now as NICAP, when we'll be having our games, we hope to have a platform whereby we can record maybe semi-finals, quarterfinals of the best, because group stage pia huwezi anza hapo kuna vitu mingi. So when we've separated the elites, wamefika semi-finals, finals, we are hoping to have a platform like that through SKEIYA as well, so that we can beam the games live. A CEO in Europe, wherever they are, they'll be seated and watching the game, and they're like, we need that player, and they get in touch with us, and we refer the communication direct to the team and a NICAP. So technology is very important, and it's crucial for our existence.
And of course, that's why I bring in the CEO of SKEIYA. This technology, how does it work? Is it domicile in Nairobi? Ama mnabeba hizo masanduku mnapeleka pia huko Mombasa, ama mnazipeleka pia huko Mandera, ama Marsabit tunafanyia huko. Please tell us about how that works, and how the footballers can be part of either SKEIYA or your other supporters or other partners that you have in terms of talent recruitment.
Okay, first, the equipment is very easily carryable. So yes, we can transverse it to different parts of the country when we're being invited for games to come and, it's not more like come and watch the games, but set up the systems. In what we want is a very systematic way of scouting players. Like everybody is used to this system of coming, you go to the pitch, we see some players, tunasema tunapenda ule. No, what we actually like is, and what we're using with AI, is being able to collect their data, their statistics. We're able to see, if you look at how we structured our forms when we were doing for the cup, it was very detailed. We wanted to know your health checkup. We wanted to know every single detail, upload your CV, upload this, so that even when we are doing reviews and the international teams are doing reviews, they can see what we have first before they see the players on the ground. And even then, before we used the AI, it took us about, 3 days just to polish the players first, until we got now to the point of where they were ready to have friendly games. And then now we can set the systems. Because again, as a Kenyan myself, There's no way I'm showing you this other side of things. I have to polish the players first and then present them. And so for us, we really are interested more in the aspect of we want to work with you, develop with you, see where you started, and then see where we can take you and use technology to be able to do that.
Okay. And of course, I'll also ask you later. Niko na dakika kama 5 hivi or less. I don't know if my director can tell me if you are 5 or no. So that you can tell us how many you've scouted and who are your partner, for example, agencies outside the country or, outside the country, whether Tanzania, Uganda, Europe, utatuambia ni kina nani. Because my people who are watching are like, okay, so nikienda SKEIYA, then what next? You see, that kind of stuff. But first, maybe bring in James Situma, your ambassador of SKEIYA. Situma, you remember, of course, former Harambee Stars coach Engin Firat once upon a time said that in Kenya we have so many Messis, but we don't present them to the big stage. You remember that time, of course, when you were saying that there's talent, but you don't know how really to do that. How is SKEIYA going to make Engin Firat, wherever he is, start smiling about getting Messis?
Yeah, I believe so, and I just love the approach of SKEIYA because I believe most of the teams can buy the ideas because within the 3 days they had almost each and every player's profile. You have to profile a player, and the coaches have to give the report after every training session. Each player, the statistics, the way he trained, So it's something that if we can do that as a country or a football industry, we can have the Messi and Ronaldo in this country. And I just love the collaboration or the combination of SKEIYA and Nairobi International Cup, because if Kevin is having more than 300 teams, and we have the agency on the other side, as a brand ambassador, I just want to say that when am I extending my contract, of being an ambassador?
Sasa unatumia show yangu kuomba contract. Si percent ni yangu.
So I just mean that having more than 300 teams, those are a lot of players, young upcoming players, and having the agency, the legit agency, and there's something that you asked as Yombua, that how many players have succeeded to move maybe, or is looking forward to send to outside the country, It will be a very good platform whereby, in fact, we can have more agencies coming together, more collaboration coming together to make sure that the Nike Cup is successful. And also it's one way of coming up with a pool of young upcoming players who can be well modeled to make sure that they can play up to the top level. So I just want to encourage Kevin what he's doing, because planning a tournament and having massive teams or a couple of teams coming to attend is something so big, and if we can do that in region, do it in Nairobi, do it in Kisumu, in Mombasa, and we have talent, we have talented boys, girls in this country. So for Siombua is that it's just as tight was a very successful camp, and looking forward, the players feel that we can have this more, going forward, and it's a platform whereby hauta need kwenda Europe ndio ende maybe benchmark, utaangalia tu SKEIYA leo wameweka kambi wapi, if it's Mombasa then go there benchmark, enda Nairobi International Cup inafanywa wapi, go there benchmark. And I believe these are the people that we need in our football industry to grow.
Yeah, to nurture the talent. That's
exactly
true. And of course, Kevin, tell us about how there's a team, of course, I'm sure in Githunguri that would like to be part of Nairobi International Cup. How is that process?
The process to register for Nike Cup is very seamless. We have our website, which for now has the information that you need. So just log into nairobiinternationalcup.co.ke. We have our contacts there. The first process is just to send an email, just two text, like the way you'd send a WhatsApp message. Hi Nike Cup, I would like to be part of the tournament. This is my team and these are the categories. We have an admin who's always on call to respond to all. From there, once you send the email, you're taken through the processes, because kuna pia mamamluki hatuwataki kwa tournament. So many people are very notorious with age cheating. We've already banned 4 teams from the tournament. There are clubs within Nairobi because of the same issues. So that's why we have the approval process. Once you send it, we'll see your profile, we'll do a background check, and if you meet our green zones, you'll be part of the tournament. But if you don't, utapata tu na no yako kwa email. Huko tu kwa email.
Utapata barua pepe.
Yes, huko tu kwa email. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Of course, as we wind up, Siombua, the CEO of SKEIYA, I have two questions, of course, which were prompted by your ambassador.
Yes.
And ambassador nauliza CEO maswali on.
Nimezoea.
Ndio ubaya kuwa na so many titles.
Unasahau ni ambassador. Of course, how many players, of course, did you scout? Where are they going? Or where are they? Or which camp will they attend before? Because lazima muwavalishe nguo vizuri kwanza after kuwa scout ndio sasa muwatume huko. And then, of course, which are these teams or countries that are you partnering with? That's a very important thing, because someone who's watching, they're like, sasa mnanichukua alafu anaenda.
Okay, so first, trials are here.
Good.
Trials are not there.
Yeah, right.
We conduct the trials, but with the AI, we are able to gather all the information that is required, inclusive of the videos, for the full assessment of players for the teams that are looking for players. So for our biggest market so far, and since we started, or rather since I started in sports, that was 6 years back, has been Europe. And when it comes to, for those ones who are looking at education, and this is the sports scholarships, that's the US. And for the slightly older ages, is usually on the Arab side of teams.
Where I come in.
Where he comes in. Sasa yeye anaweza mpeleka hizo side za Qatar.
Then msema pesa kula pesa retirement.
Retirement. But mostly because we are looking at the younger ages, and we are looking in terms of what FIFA allows us to sign, and that is 17 to 23, as well making sure that by the time, you see, when you go at 17, 18, 19, you become a homegrown player, depending on the country where you go, and we are easily able to do various transfers. And so for us, the countries are mostly all in Europe, which is our biggest market. And that's what has taken most of our players. Initially, we were transferring one player at a time, but now we've opened it up to a bigger pool of where we scout here. And then now, when you're selected, it's basically you're signing a contract to move.
Well done, well done. My final question, of course, which is very important to the ambassador. Of course, ambassador, you understand the protocols and the procedures, and I'm sure someone, a parent who's watching, they're like, so who are you affiliated with? Who has the powers to, to regulate SKEIYA in its activities? Of course, FKFs, the FIFAs, the CAFs, and all that. So someone who's watching, they're like, sawa, SKEIYA inafanya scouting, but ambassador, you need to assure them that all the paperwork will be correct because of the partnerships and the kind of connections and the advice you give SKEIYA in terms of the procedures.
Yeah. Of course, when those players who have the teams wanakuwa selected, of course, the team will be involved. And the beauty with SKEIYA is that anything on paper, we have the legal people or person who always in charge. And Siombua knows very well wakati alikuwa nitafuta kuwa ambassador. Tulikuwa na meetings zingine hatari sana.
Kuja na maloya wamevaa suti wale.
And I remember there was a particular time when we were in a virtual meeting and the lawyers
were the only ones speaking.
Amekaa tu pale.
Tumenyamaza kwa the terms na kila kitu. Sisi tunasikiza tu, lakini na make sure. So I believe when maybe for the minor the parents are always 100% of guardians involved, and also in fact they scare themselves wanakuambia kuja na mtu mwenye atawa represent vizuri. When you have the contract, they take you through, wasome waelewe, kwa sababu mzazi pia anaweza kuja na haizi elewa pia contract, but ana hiyo chance ya kutafuta legal person akuja amtake through, because mali pesa inakuwa involved. Tumia pesa kidogo lakini mambo ikuwe mzuri. So that's what I can assure them. Na pia vina represent players, I believe everything tutakuwa hands on to make sure that all the process are followed, na to make sure all the transfers wale wame manage kutoka ziko well properly done.
Well done. James Situma, the ambassador of SKEIYA. Nasikia anasema SKEIYA na mimi hapa nasema SKEIYA. The Luya in me just SKEIYAs itself out. Thank you so much, of course, James Situma, who's also the president of the Kenya Footballers Welfare Association of Kenya. And of course, our former top international player, Asante Sana, for really doing this and taking up. It's very important, of course. It gives a lot of validation for this. And also the CEO of SKEIYA, that is Siombua Kibue. thank you very much for making time. And the CEO of Nairobi International Cup, where you need to take your team whenever they have their tournaments. You've already been told where you can find them. They'll be able to guide you in terms of how you can begin the process of nurturing your talent. Because I remember hata kuna team iko hapa Githunguri. Juzi aliniambia, Tony, simkuje mtushoot mkave, nataka hizo ma video clips, tupelekee ma scouts. Sasa nimekujibu. And of course, the entire team at SKEIYA, I know this is just a part of the team that is working for SKEIYA in talent development in the country in terms of football. Ni football peke yake?
No.
Oh. Director, nipate dakika mbili before tuende kwa story ya Soya Awards. Naenda kwa Soya, hiyo package ya Soya Awards ya Thursday. Wacha niulize story moja tu hapa. Which other sports? Hey, that was a very important story.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
So under the umbrella of football, we have football itself, we have rugby, and we have American football. But we also have e-sport and basketball. So these are the first 5 categories that we are focusing on in be able to create pathway programs for athletes. So once we have fully established the proper pathways for all of them, and then we will expand. But so far we work with those 5.
Well done. Now you know it's not about football alone. Kama wewe ni mtu ya esports, kaya ni mtu physically unataka retirement kama ya James Tuma kwenda Saudi Arabia, you can do your esports with your fingers and of course your minds. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for really making time. Thank you to Teresa na kutumia shout out, the Luya in me. Asante sana for making this possible, and of course for bringing this particular team from their busy schedule. I know it's a weekend. Kevin, ulisema wewe si wa Man City, wewe ni timu gani? In Europe.
Best ever.
Hi, Manchester.
Thank you.
Manchester.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Manchester ni timu kubwa?
Yes.
Situma timu yako Arsenal.
Watu juzi wameumia Banabu. Bado wamefunika uwanja.
Bado wamefunika uwanja. Nice. Which team is in Europe, that is?
None in Europe.
Oh, in Kenya?
As an African representative, I can easily tell you either one of my favorite teams is Melody Sundowns, and on the Kenyan side, AFC Leopards.
Asante sana Siobua, thank you very much, and of course thank you very much Kevin for really making time. This of course now you've heard about SKEIYA, now you know where can you bound SKEIYA mko wapi kwa website?
Our website is www.skeiya.com. Just that, SKEIYA.com. Yes.
Haya, pigeni shughuli huko. Hiyo maswali yenu yote mlikuwa mmetumia kwa mitandao, na muende mtumie Siombua. Hizo email msiniletee tafadhali. Nimepata enough views and of course presentation. Thank you so much for that. This is Sports Extravaganza on TV47. Thank you for staying with us. Remember, we have a question of the day, and it's tied to the brand ambassador of SKEIYA. What are the chances of Arsenal winning the UEFA Champions League trophy? That's the question of the day. What are the chances of Arsenal Football Club winning the UCL or the UEFA Champions League trophy? Amesema kwamba Bernabeu waliingia huko, waliwekwa kwa oven na wakachemuka na hao watu, wakaguka nao. And in the semi-final, they'll be playing against PSG. Bado mimi nasema PSG itawapiga. But where Arsenal have reached, in my own opinion, they'll go all the way to the final. So that's our question of the day. Talk to us on all our social media platforms, on SMS, and you can call us in live. Now, just before